Even though the Raider Nation always shows up, they show out at SoFi, we tailgate, we kill it out there, we black out the stadium. The Raiders never keep that same energy while the game is going. And I did have a little bit of optimism going into this game, thinking like, you know what, things are going to be a little bit different now. You know, AP's coming over here, he's going back home in his debut against the Chargers, and all the hype, all the anticipation that we had going into this game, even though we had Gardner Minshew as the quarterback, I thought everything was going to be different, but it didn't matter because at the end of the day, it's a new year, but the same damn results. We just can never get it done in SoFi Stadium. But before I go on rambling about every single thing out there, I want to just say Raider Nation definitely showed up. LA is always going to hold it down, man. The tailgate was lit. It was great to finally be in, you know, some Raider football atmosphere. Shout out to all the fans out there that showed a lot of love, you know, to me, to my host, Mr. Fitz. Obviously, we were able to make the trip over to LA to go to the game, but we were also able to go to the tailgate. We were able to go to the Raider Nation takeover party the night before, even go and golf with some Raider legends and my boy Alpha Raider throughout the whole weekend. But we were able to catch a lot of vibes. But throughout that whole experience, a lot of you guys really came up, showed a lot of love, man. And to me, you know, it's humbling that so many of you guys really do just love my content and just, you know, support me in general, you know. And I've done this for a long time, and I can honestly say that anytime we go to LA, there's always going to be love shown. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys that stopped me, took a picture, and even just talked to me for a little bit. I will be posting our vlog pretty soon on the Ninth Island channel. So if you guys are not already subscribed to the Ninth Island, go and subscribe to the Ninth Island. Obviously, we repping. We got the t-shirts in now, so slowly but surely we'll get the merch out there. And if anybody's down to buy any of this merch, if you guys do want to buy it, then we'll let you guys know more about that. But of course, back to business. We lose to the Chargers 22-10 in a game that I felt like we could have definitely won. And I think that's the reason why a lot of fans are really pissed off, is because we go into these games with, you know, some type of hope, but then when we play the game and we lose the way we lose, it's like, damn. We could have easily won this game. We could have easily came out of this game with a W. And especially in LA, ever since fans were able to come back to watch games in person after COVID, you know, in 2021, we have lost every single year. And this is the fourth year in a row that we've lost at SoFi Stadium. I'm honestly getting tired of going to SoFi Stadium at this point. Even though I love LA, even though I love SoCal, I'm just tired of it. I just don't know how much more I can take from this team in LA. I mean, being in Las Vegas, that's a whole different story. But let's talk about the game. I got some notes watching the game. Now, honestly, when I was watching the game over there at SoFi Stadium, I was in section 122, not too far behind the black hole where they were all chilling at. But it's a different view when you're watching the game at the game and then watching it on TV. So I knew when I had a lot of time right after the game, I was chilling at the airport and going over my notes, going over the game, watching the highlights, and seeing it from a different perspective. There's a lot of notes that I took out of it, which I kind of understood. Now, one thing that I want to talk about off top is Gardner Minshew. Now, we all know that Gardner Minshew was announced our starting quarterback, and a lot of fans were 50-50 on this decision. Now, Gardner Minshew didn't play great, but I wouldn't say that all the blame would be placed on Gardner Minshew. I got to look back at it because we were all mad at Gardner Minshew. A lot of people were already calling for AOC to go into the game. But looking at this offensive line, they really struggled in this game, in the run game, the run blocking, and the pass blocking. There was a lot of times where Gardner Minshew stepping back and there's already a defender coming at him. And you could kind of see it later on in the game. He was starting to just step up and just trying to run for as many yards as he can. But most times he was getting sacked in the backfield. Now, granted, got to give a lot of props to the Chargers. I mean, they have Joey Bosa. They got Khalil Mack always coming off the edge. And that's going to cause havoc for any quarterback. And I just don't know why every single time we play Khalil Mack now, this dude just goes off against us. But, you know, like I said, Gardner Minshew wasn't perfect in this game. But I don't think everything was on Gardner Minshew. Could he have played better? Of course. But I know a lot of people that's already talking right now saying that we need to move on and put AOC in there. I don't think that they're going to do that. If we wanted to have AOC in there, I think that AP would have made him the starting quarterback to begin with, but it's just taking steps backwards right now to go with AOC. It's only one game right now, Raider Nation, so I don't want to hit the panic button just yet, but let's see what Gardner Minshew can do in these next coming weeks. I will give him another 2-3 weeks, and we'll have to reevaluate the quarterback position. But right now, of course, we know quarterback was the biggest, I would say the really biggest need that we had in the offseason, and we really didn't address it. That's AP and Tom Telesco's fault. We just got to roll with the punches and go with what we have. And on top of that, The run game wasn't good either. Zeus, this is his debut game as a starter, you know, taking the boatload of carries for this team. He didn't really look that good in this game. And maybe most of that, granted, like I said, could be on the offensive line. I just don't know what it is. Maybe Colton Miller's not 100% out there. It sucks that JPJ's not been able to go out there and play either. I can honestly say that the offensive line was struggling out there. And this is the same thing that happened last year when we played the LA Chargers. They struggled to stop Khalil Mack. It didn't help when Aiden O'Connell was, you know, a statue in the pocket, but I don't know what it is. They were just struggling, and they struggled in this game as well. Of course, offensively as a whole, nobody really played good on the offensive side of the ball. Devontae Adams barely got any touch throughout the end of the game. So maybe looking at that, you could possibly put a lot of the blame on Luke Getsy, the offensive line, and just the offensive scheme in general. I don't know why we weren't airing the ball, because I felt like when Gardner Minshew did have some time out there, when the offensive line was actually giving him time, he was able to at least make some throws here and there, or, you know, move around in the pocket and make some plays happen. But for the most part, when we were trying to run the ball, it was pretty non-existent. But one running back that made the most of his opportunity out there, Alexander Madison. Got to give a huge shout out to the Oos, because he had the only touchdown that we had in this game. Everybody was hyped at SoFi Stadium. Little did we know that was going to be the last touchdown we had in the game, but really was frustrating to see how our offense was out there. And it's kind of funny, kind of ironic that for the past couple of years, we always looked at our offense as the strong point of the team. But this year and even last year, it's just crazy to think that the offense is the weakest link out of the two, because the defensive side of the ball really held it down in this game. And we knew that the defense was going to be solid. We knew that they were going to go out there and just ball out. And I think that's what they did. They were solid for majority of this game. This defense forced the Chargers to kick field goals on multiple drives. Even after the turnovers that we had in this game, the defense was able to keep them away from the end zone, which is really, really huge. And it was just frustrating to see that they were doing their job out there and the offense would go out there and not do shit. One thing I can say is that we cannot depend on our defense to bail us out every single drive. And I feel like that's what AP was doing. Yes, our defense is good, but you can't rely on them solely to win these games. We need the offense to do something out there. I mean, we almost had an interception by Trayvon Merrick. I almost thought it was an interception, but it is what it is. Now, some of the big negatives that we had in this game: one, Daniel Carlson, what the fuck? He missed a field goal. He's supposed to be one of the best kickers in the NFL, yet we missed a field goal when we need one. Not only that, but the turnovers really killed any momentum we had leading up to any of those drives. One, we had the Gardner Minshew fumble where the ball just slipped out of his hand. I don't know what it was. Maybe the ball was all slippery because it was so damn hot in SoFi Stadium. For a state-of-the-art stadium, I still believe that SoFi is one of the worst stadiums in the NFL. But that's besides the point. Now, he wasn't the only one that had the fumble bug, because Zamir White also fumbled the ball. And then at the end of the game, with whatever type of hope that we had, you know, Gardner Minshew throws an interception. Khalil Mack tips it up in the air. Interception, game over. Now, one thing I really want to talk about in this game that I believe was really, really, really crucial for the Raiders was in the fourth quarter when it was 4th and 1. We were all, and I'm telling you this right now, everybody and their mom was in that building thought that we were going to go for it on 4th and 1. You know, have some cojones out there. Do something to at least draw a spark on this offense side of the ball, because we haven't had that all game long. So thinking about that and thinking about AP being the guy he is, I would have thought that he would have went for it on 4th and 1. And what do? Nah, we punt the ball. Now, if you were in the building when the punting unit went out there, when we seen AJ Cole's ass walk onto the field, everybody was booing in the stadium. All the Raider fans were booing. And that's how you know you're just making a mistake out there. I was really disappointed in that decision that AP didn't want to go for it, but I felt like that was going to be crucial. And that shit bit us in the ass, because at the end of the game, the Chargers were able to run the ball down our throats. J.K. Dobbin basically sealed the game on a 60-plus yard run. And that was basically end of game. And that was one thing I would say that AP really made a huge mistake. Forget all the bullshit that happened before that moment. If we get that 4th and 1, if we get that first down, we could drive down the field, maybe get a field goal, maybe get a touchdown. That would have been great. But at worst, we would have not converted, and they get the ball back, and let's just hope our defense goes out there and do their job. They've been doing it all day. But like I said, you cannot depend on a defense to go out there and make stops every single time and bail you out, because they're not going to be able to do that. So I don't put a lot of the blame on the defense or anybody else. I put this blame on the decision that AP made. Now, am I going to be going at his head? Am I going to be like, yo, let's fire AP right now? No, it's way too early in the season to even think about that. It also didn't help that this game basically ended in a fight. And a lot of people looked at that. Jack Jones and Josh Palmer got ejected from this game, but Jack Jones wasn't even a part of that fight. He was actually there to try to break the fight up. It was between Marcus Epps and Josh Palmer. Everybody got into it. We were actually on that side. Shout out to Power Raider. He had this clip. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. And everybody was coming together trying to, you know, back up their guy. Shout out to Max Crosby. Christian Wilkins was over there. Everybody had each other's back, and everybody was frustrated. And not only the Raiders were frustrated having fights, but everybody in the stadium seemed to be frustrated and started fights. Because it's funny that when I go online, I see all these fights happening all over the stadium. But where I was at, I didn't see not one fight. At the end of the day, though, Raider Nation, my final verdict on this whole situation, is it time to panic? You know, because I know a lot of Raider fans like me are emotional, but when it comes to things like this, should we be worried about the Raiders moving forward? And my honest answer is, I guess, no, for the most part, because it's only one game. It's only one game. We lost, and it sucks. But I'm really optimistic, and I know a lot of people may be optimistic out there, and there's probably other mad Raider fans, just like I was at the end of the game, that really want to call it quits and go on, move on, quarterback, coach, whatever. But I think we're going to be okay. I feel like we're going to bounce back next week and have a more competitive game. We know what to do now moving forward, and I feel like AP's smart enough to get something done. I don't think it's time to put AOC in yet, but he's there on the back burner just in case we don't improve in the next coming weeks. But like I said, it's only one game, Raider Nation. Let's keep our head up. We got a lot more games to go, and I feel like we're going to bounce back in a better way. I still have a little bit of hope right now. We'll see when the season continues, but as far as right now, I have a little bit of hope moving forward. We can't get any worse than we were today, but then, you know, knock on wood, hopefully we don't. But Raider Nation, I want to ask you guys, how are you feeling about this game? And do you guys have any faith in this team, in AP, in Gardner Minshew moving forward? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, man. There's going to be a lot of content going on. I'm going to be dropping a vlog. I'm going to be dropping some reels. If you guys don't know already, follow me on all social media platforms at Samoan Raider. And of course, if you guys love the content on this channel, man, and you love the Las Vegas Raiders, then hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. Until the next one, this is your boy Samoan Raider and your boys. Yeah.